Today is June 20, 2019, and the Choo Choo Lotus has finally opened. First flower on this plant. I like the neat shower head that it's got there. It's really small. This is a micro lotus, but it's got another bud here, and this one is bigger and taller, so that'll be good. And it's got one under this leaf right there. The golden monkey one is about spent. It's too bad. It never opened all the way. I thought it was gonna be like a star opening, but yeah, when I touch it now, the petals are falling out. But there are two buds coming out. One right there, and then this one down here. Nothing on this one yet. This one's lovesick red. And this guy here has got a bud still, and a new one right there. That's so cool. And this guy here has a bud. It's finally getting pretty tall. This one's called New Lancelet Red. Big, beautiful leaf on this. Love it. It's so soft and velvety. And then this is the Dreaming of Sixth Dynasty. It's going to be another yellow flower. I can't wait for that to open. And I love that it's getting so tall. This is a large lotus, so I'm happy about this one finally making flowers. Two big ponds, not really doing much of anything interesting, which is frustrating. I wanted to talk a little about this red lotus. I've noticed that a lot of times they're called red lotuses, and they have red in the title, but they're not really red. They're actually a very dark pink or a hot pink. And when you see these in person, they're not really red. I don't think there is such thing as a red lotus, but that would be great if there was. The outside buds are the ones that look the darkest. And then when they open, you realize that they're more of a pink. So it's too bad they don't stay red. The lily pond is doing nicely. I don't think my other two lilies in there are doing so well to compete, but hopefully they'll be able to get some sunlight. But the Petco one, as I'm calling it, is doing very, very well, and it's beautiful and bright and sunny in there. And then, as always, lastly, an update on the foxtail orchid, Rhyncostylus retusa. It's getting bigger. Can't wait for that. This is my ball loofah, and I actually want to talk a little bit about the front garden, which is not going well actually, and I'm going to have to rip out all the tomatoes. If you remember that was a total disaster with the bugs. They've destroyed everything, and they've gotten diseased, and they need to be pulled out and new plants put in. But I do have some good news. I am growing these little tomatoes. These are called microtoms, and they are supposed to be one of the smallest variety of tomatoes in the world. These things are itty bitty. These things are super small, and they're flowering for the first time. It's very exciting. And these were actually very difficult for me to start from seed. I have a technique for growing tomatoes that works really well that I plan to make a video about and share with you guys, but it's super easy. Basically all you do is you get a glass of water and you float the tomato seeds on the water. In about 5 to 7 days, you'll get roots popping out, and then you just take them out and plant them in soil, and they'll turn into plants. And these microtons are some of the ones that when you just plant them in soil, potting mix or seed starting mix, they have very low germination rate, and I got almost all of mine to come up with this method. So here they are with the soda cans, so you can get a sense of scale of how small these little guys are. I don't know if they're gonna grow any taller. On the website where I got them, the Totally Tomatoes, it said that these do great in hanging baskets, so that's what I've got going here. They're in hanging baskets, and hopefully they're so tiny that the bugs won't notice them. And I am really happy with how these look. They are the perfect green color. They're beautiful. The stalks are clean. There's no bug damage, no leaf miners, and especially no stink bugs and leaf-footed bugs. But I've heard that cherry tomatoes do the best in Florida, and I have found out that our season is not like the season up north. And I think what I've been doing wrong all this time is I've been growing at the wrong time of year. The bigger tomatoes, like regular size, the big beefsteak size, do not grow here in the summer during our hottest time of the year. So planting in March and April, like the rest of the country, is actually too late. And we have to risk the frost, and we are supposed to plant around February, maybe January for Central Florida, and even earlier in South Florida, they can plant as soon as November. So hopefully this fall then, which is our second season for late season tomatoes, you can plant in August to September. I may try that. I still have some plants. Today is June 24th, 2019, and the Sarracenias in the good pot are doing very well. Very, very well. Got a few weeds that need to be plucked out like that. But in this pot, what's really weird and totally unexpected has happened. Unfortunately, all my Sarracenias died. So I haven't taken care of this one. I haven't watered or bothered, but it has been raining. And this plant has come up. And that is a water hyacinth. It's a floating water plant that for some reason is growing in the bog garden. I didn't know it can grow. Technically, this is too dry for it, but it's sprouted up. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I don't grow these anymore. So who knows? Maybe I'll put it in with the, it could float around in there with the big Lotus, the space Lotus maybe, but yeah, or I'll leave it there, see how it does. That's crazy that that could survive, but the poor Sarracenias could not. Okay, so anyways, it's time for Lotus update, and that golden monkey Lotus unfortunately has finished. Now it's got the little shower head, but I've got 2 new buds, and these are so big. They're way taller than the last one. They're taller than the bird bath was. It looks really nice. This was the big Morphophallus flower. It's got a, I don't know if that's another flower. I don't think they could do it twice. But I think that's going to be the next petiole or tree stage to come up. We'll see. The Choo-Choo Lotus has exploded, as I like to say after they drop all their petals. It has blown up. This one has opened nicely. Very pretty. And then this new bud. I can't see the screen. It is so bright and so hot out here. I'm actually doing this update quite late, and it looks like a lot of these pots need to be filled. The water has evaporated. Oh, I love the shower head on this one. This guy here is so pretty. That guy's making seeds, and this one is dried up. Bud's still not ready to open yet, but it's got 2 buds now. And this was, this one is the Dream of Yao Tai. Very pretty. Starts pink and turns white with pink edges once it's done. This will be my first time getting a flower from, this is called New Lancelet Red. And it's just sent out a new bud down in here. I'm sorry if this is out of focus. I can't see the screen. Okay, there's the bud that I'm waiting impatiently for it to open. That'll be gorgeous. But even more impatiently, I am waiting on this bud. This is Dream of Sixth Dynasty, and this is the first yellow lotus I got. I find it funny how it doesn't matter whether I got a lotus first or last. They bloom whenever they want. I got this one weeks before I got the golden monkey, and golden monkey has gone way faster. But so far that's the only bud that I see. It's done something really funny. This aerial leaf has busted through and ripped through one of the floating leaves. Usually they just push them out of the way and they grow up without any problems, but that one, like a little sword, just decided to stab through. That's pretty cool. Okay, here's the 1,000 petals, doing nothing as usual. And Space 36, doing nothing as usual. Well, I guess they made new leaves, but nothing interesting, and they're not even big leaves. My lily pond again, and unfortunately something happened to the female fish. I found her belly up one morning, and he was fine. He always survived, so I gotta buy him another female again. This will be the third female. Hopefully I'll have time to go to the pet store. I hope they have one, because she was the last one. I don't know if they'll have more white females. He's my survivor. He's gorgeous, and I wish his females would last. Lastly, here we've got the Rhynchostylus retusa, and it is a very, very nice bud. Put my hand here for scale. It's gotten bigger since last time. I can't wait for this to open. I hope this keeps growing. It's longer and longer. I once saw one. The first time I ever saw one was in the Atlanta Botanical Garden back in 2007. And I finally looked up what it was and what it was called, and I found one on eBay, and I ordered this back in February of 2013. So I've had this plant for 6 years, and it is only just now making a flower. Of course, I haven't done anything with it. I just put it out here, but I'm glad it's finally making a flower. Can't wait for that to open.